Hey guys, welcome back to Taitsiki. As you can see, we have a new background today. Ooh, so nice. So today we're doing something a little different. Painting! We're doing painting. So I'm going to be telling some funny childhood stories of mine so you can get to know me better. Fun. And I am going to be doing a Christmas tree with some Little Among Us characters. So let's get on with the time lapse. So as you can see here, my really dirty palette, I'm going to paint the background with light blue mixed in with white sooner or later. But let's get started on those funny childhood stories. So when I was younger, when I was about 6 to 7 years old, I used to live in Texas. I lived there for about 2 to 2.5 years, and I lived in an apartment. And there was this sweet old lady who lived below us, and she had 2 chihuahuas. One of them was a little aggressive. The other one was always really calm because she was really old. But one day, my sister and I were playing in the sandbox that we have in front of our apartment. And that old lady was outside with her chihuahuas sitting on her lap while she was sitting on her rocking chair. And everyone was petting those chihuahuas. And so in my little 6-year-old mind, I was like, I want to pet the chihuahuas. So I went up and it was my turn to pet those chihuahuas. And then, I kid you not, one of them chased me up a tree. And I'm not lying or exaggerating when I say this, but I ran up that tree so fast, like my life depended on it. And as I ran up that tree, I looked at my parents and I was bawling my eyes out because I was so scared. Because I kid you not, this little dog ran so fast for how small she was. And I was stuck up in that tree for about, I kid you not, maybe 10 minutes. And I always looked at my parents because my parents were watching us because they're not going to leave some 6-year-old with a 3-year-old outside just playing in a sandbox. So they were standing there and they were just laughing. They weren't helping me or anything. So I was just stuck up there for a few minutes crying because I didn't know what to do. But that's my story of getting chased up a tree by a chihuahua when I was in Texas. So the second story is about me making a dent in a truck. And the story behind that is, for some reason, I was really excited to see my dad once I got off the bus that day. Not saying that I'm never excited to see my dad. I always am. I love my dad. But for some reason, that day, I was ecstatic with feelings to see my dad. And at that time, I thought I would run faster if I looked down at the floor while running. Which, just keep in mind, does not make you faster, learning from experience. But that day, I was really excited to see my dad. So once I got off the bus, I started running. I started bolting for it. I became Usain Bolt before he became himself. I kid you not. And as I was running towards my dad, and since I'm looking at the floor and I can't see anything in front of me, I did not see that there was a black, big truck parked on the sidewalk. So me going literally 60 miles per hour while running, straight forward, head fast, I ran into the truck. And my big head made a dent in it. And my parents laugh about it now. We all laugh about it now. And my cousin and my sister were there at the time. And they all were walking in front of me. And then they all of a sudden just heard this huge slam. And they all turned back. And they didn't see me because I just fell to the floor. I felt like I was going to pass out, but I didn't. I just felt really dizzy because I just ran into a big black truck. And they all went to go find me, and they see me on the floor just not crying, but like on the verge of tears because I just didn't know what was happening because I was just so dizzy and so out of it. So once they came to help me up, they tried to help me stand up, and I did stand up for about like maybe 2 seconds. Then I just fell back to the floor because I just couldn't stand up, and I couldn't stand on my feet anymore because I was just really dizzy. And from the impact of me running into that truck really hard, I probably had a concussion that time, but we just didn't go to the doctor for it. So I'm basically going to just explain what I'm doing in the painting right now because it looks a little whack, but just trust the process. So I drew the outline of a Christmas tree because my brain can't draw any trees or bushes of any sort unless I have an outline for it. I don't know. It's just my brain works like that. So basically I just grabbed a feather brush or a fan brush, however you call it, and I mixed a light green with a bit of black, and I mixed them together and I came out with this little mossy green, and I'm using that as little bristles of the tree. I'm just fanning that throughout. So now I am painting the star. I'm not good at painting stars, or English apparently, because I can't say the word painting. But I am not good at painting stars, so I just did that normal star that everyone does, like the crisscross star, and then I just colored it in. The yellow at the time wasn't very vibrant or pigmented for some reason. I don't know if it was me just dipping my brush in the water and then not drying it fully, but I had to layer the yellow so much until it could like decently show the color. Oh, there's the color of that yellow. So right now I'm just going to be filling in the outline of the Among Us character that I painted or drew. And of course I'm going to be doing yellow first because it's the character that I always play whenever I play Among Us. If you ever see me, by the way, when you're playing Among Us, let me know. I'm always the one in yellow, obviously, with a little gardener's hat, and then I have a little child, and my name is Cheese in all caps because I am obsessed with cheese, as weird as that sounds. So let's continue with my funny childhood stories. So this one is with Aaliyah and I. So Aaliyah was living in this old house of hers, and one day we decided to go roller skating throughout the neighborhood. So once we went to the park, I had to use the restroom really bad, and it's not going to take the twist that you think it's going to take. On our way back to her house, we were rushing, and there's this really steep hill. And when I say steep, I mean like steep. So we knew that if we went down that hill with those roller skates, we are going to fall. But I had to use the restroom so bad that I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to risk it. So we both decided, we're like, you know what, we can do it. We're pro skaters, like we can do this, like haha, like we got this. So we decided to just risk it and just go for it. So we started going really slow at first, but then we ended up picking up the pace, not on purpose, like on accident. So as we started to pick up that pace when we were going down that really steep hill, we started to lose control of our roller skates, and it's pavement, so it's like really not smooth. It's really like gravelly, really rocky, really bumpy. So we were losing control of our skates, and Aaliyah went one way, and then I went the other way. And when I say I did a whole front flip, I mean it. Like, I tripped and I did a whole front flip and landed on my head on top of the concrete. And it hurt so bad. And as you can see, there's a pattern throughout these stories. It always ends up with me losing some type of control, or me falling on my head, or me injuring myself in some type of way. But as I fell on my head, I hear Aaliyah scream my name, and we're both just laughing on the ground because she went the other way. She flew onto the grass and just full on belly flapped onto the grass. So the last thing that I remember is me falling on my head and then getting up. And I know for a fact I got a concussion that day too. But again, I decided, you know what, I'm fine. I don't need to go to the doctor for this. I just hit my head and just casually fell on it. So I have to describe why I only did 3 of the Among Us character colors instead of the full 12. So I did yellow because obviously it's the character that I play. I did purple because it's the character that Aaliyah plays all the time. Blue is because it's one of my favorite colors, so I did it. I did pink Among Us character because that's one of my coworkers that he plays, and I just absolutely loved the reason why he plays pink. He plays pink because his name is Wanda. And I just found that so hysterical, so I just put it in the painting. I did red because it's another one of my favorite colors. And last of all, I did black because that is the color that my younger sister plays whenever she plays Among Us. She is obsessed with the color black. Like, her room is all black. She wants to paint it black. So I decided to just include her in the little painting. So this is the last story. It's not really a childhood story, more or less like a recent story. So as you may know, I used to do gymnastics. I did it for about 13 years. I did it when I started when I was 3, and then I did it for most of my life. Then I quit, and then I went back, and then I quit again, and then I went back for another year, and then I finally quit, like, for good. But then recently, when I was still in high school, so I graduated about 2 years ago, so maybe it was about 3 to 3.5 years ago that I decided that I wanted to go back. So when I quit, I was still doing tumbling classes to keep up my skills. So I had most of my skills like I used to, but not all of them. But when I decided to go back, I had to do a tryout, as you do for any other sport. So I tried out and to see where I would get placed, like what level, like either level 1, level 2, so on. So I tried out, and my coach, because I went back to the gym that I grew up in, she asked me, hey, do you still have your round-off back handspring backflip? And I said yes. And I wasn't lying when I told her I do. Like, I really did. But I do have a little bit of stage fright. So it's not where, like, if I stand on stage, I would, like, freeze up. I can, like, go on stage if I have a group of people, and I'll be fine. But, like, I get a little bit of anxiety because I do have anxiety. If people are, like, staring at me, as anybody would. But when I was doing the tryout and I was going to show her, because she asked me to show her, like, if I had the backflip. And keep in mind, the whole gym is filled. Like, my sister is there as well. Like, she's still in gymnastics at the time. So she was doing practice, and so was everybody else. Like, there was parents watching from the watching area. There was people doing vault and practices and, like, so on. And so I was on floor by myself with my coach. And I did the round off. I did the back handspring. But as I got to the back flip, I just straight up fell on my head. Completely wiped out. And all you hear is this, and it's a whole gym full of noise and, like, talking and blah and all that. And then you just suddenly hear this whole slam on the floor, and I just hear this, I hear everybody laughing. And me being nervous and having anxiety, I just laughed with them because I'm not going to show them me crying. So I was just like, I'm going to laugh with them. And then my coach asked me if I was okay, and I was like, yeah, for sure. I'm totally fine. Like, yeah. So I just got up. I was dizzy, of course. And I know for 100% probably got a concussion there again for the third time in these stories. But I just didn't go to the doctor because I didn't want to admit that I hurt myself. But yeah, that's pretty much the last story of those childhood stories, plus a bonus embarrassing story of recently. So I really hope you enjoyed those stories, and let's go back to explaining what I'm doing in this painting. So as you can see here, I'm drawing or painting a little Santa hat on my character, and I'm going to paint a Santa hat on Aaliyah's character as well because we're the main people of our channel, so I decided to just have a Santa hat on both of us. Voila! And that's all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this little speed painting / storytelling. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so you get notified every time we upload a video. And also, if you hit that like button, it will help us quite a bit. I will see you guys next time on Thursday. Have a great day, guys. Bye.